Could be.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning there, Mike Kelly.
Good morning, Ed Parcaut.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good, but I don't have a cool truck like you with Parcaut lasered into the side.
Yeah, well, that's the Parcaut edition.
Yeah, I know. How'd you get it?
It was I ordered it that way.
Yeah. Could you make one after my last name?
Well, no, I just I didn't like my last 2015. I left it Grandpa, which meant chrome.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, this time I'm like, okay, I don't want to be Grandpa on this truck. So I'm like, all right. I just leveled it. I didn't lift it or anything and just I'm like, I don't want to do any chrome rims. I don't want to do this. I just want to do regular black and different bumpers. And during the pandemic, nobody was buying anything the first year. So they were like, okay, if you buy these two bumpers, we'll throw you a free winch in. And I'm like,
how old was she?
Not that old.
Oh, a winch.
Yeah.
Winch.
Not that type of winch. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not the one I want. I want this one. So can I pay the difference? Yes, no problem. And so things you do when you had those 3 months that you could.
Was that the dangly thing that was on the front of your bumper yesterday when I parked, or Wednesday when I parked?
It's actually on there all the time.
Oh, it just dangles.
Yeah, it's just that's the little cable thing to pull the cable out.
To pull trees
but
out.
It's really not a cable anymore. It's a different type of synthetic.
What are we talking about real estate wise today?
Well, seesaw rates. So right now what happened, people are like, what happened today? Well, jobs report came out. They were expecting, I think, 250,000, and it came out 528,000 jobs created. And it wasn't
created those.
I don't know. It was like a wizard. But the issue wasn't so much that they looked at the productivity information in there, and basically you need more people to do the same job. So they're not as productive as they used to be. So I don't know why. I don't know where they got that. Must be from the administration that we have currently in. They're not producing. Were
they reading the paper upside down?
Yeah. They're reading that little thing and they were like, oh, okay, the jobs are better today.
Let's come up with a new definition.
Say this again. Repeat the above line one more time.
So then the bond market's doing what?
So it's freaking out. It's like going crazy today. That's why I'm like, I don't even want to talk about rates today on Friday. But this is what happens in a normal market, right? In the last those 2 years where rates were low, there was not much of this. This is normal. This is how rates work. So when you get into contract, if you're good with the payment, good with everything, lock it and be done with it, and just move forward. If for some reason rates drop drastically during that period of time you're in contract, most of us can move you to a different investor or do something to get you a better rate.
Right.
So don't freak out, but lock so you're protected. I've locked a few people, and I tell them, I said, hey, if you want to float, that's fine. But the moment I see this moving, I'm locking you, and I'm calling you after I lock you.
Right. I'm not because if I wait till I talk to you, it might be worse.
Well, what'll happen is they'll stop me from being able to lock it. Yeah. Because the market moved too much. So let's not freak out about that. That's just how it is.
I don't freak out about much of anything. I'm just kind of, I think it's maybe the drugs, the rovastatin that I take for my cholesterol.
I thought maybe it was from all the painting you did.
In the 70s.
So this is what I was just talking about.
So numbers.
Yeah, 528.
There's some numbers.
Yeah, this is about unemployment rates at 3.5 instead of 3.6. Average hourly earnings. How can I say that even better?
Yeah.
So the average is $32. Average weekly earnings is $1,016.54. I don't really care about that. I just was looking at this big number. Where's my mouse?
The 528K.
And it was supposed to be 250,000. All right, so
why was it supposed to be that?
That's just what they predicted. That was the estimate they had.
Don't they go like this?
What's that?
I like that number. We're going to estimate 250,000.
They can. I don't know. So
go for it. Go for it.
Well, I just want to go over a couple charts, right? Everybody's talking about, is there a bubble? Is there more bubble coming?
Yeah, but it's because I got the flu.
Right. So this is where we were during the Great Recession. Right?
Oh, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a great one. Let me hide this little thing right here. Hide.
Yeah, hide that.
Thank you. So right here from 2000. So we started getting horrible. This is the months of inventory, right?
Right.
So
I got to remember those.
Yeah. So we
could shop for days.
Right. So now we're saying so this is where we were back in 21. This is where we are supposedly today. This is everywhere but Stanislaus County and then California.
This is the nation.
This is nationwide numbers, which include places that you might not want to live.
with the mosquitoes that can take your children away.
Yeah, the national bird is mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what we're looking at. So don't freak out. We're not going to see a bubble. And there's one more chart, and then I'll get out of here. This is what we're talking about: housing market forecast for the rest of 2022. So we're going to see home prices appreciation will continue.
I was looking at this graph yesterday, and I thought it was pretty interesting. The different groups that have their projections, and again, it's a projection. It's a projection.
Yeah, there's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, a 50. Yeah, but what it's saying is prices aren't getting any lower, kids.
What it's saying is we're going to see appreciation.
Right.
We're not going to see a bubble. We're going to see as potentially a slower down from the 20% we saw. But you got to remember last year, who was it? It was, they're not on here, but it was Zillow said that, and
who?
CoreLogic said we were only going to go up 5%, and we went up 22%.
Well, they were close.
Yeah. So these are estimates, and of course, it's better to be lower than higher, just like on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, you've gone over. You're out.
All right, you went over. You didn't make it. All right, so mortgage rates, like I said, is going to respond to inflation. That's just what happens, and so did NAR say that. Today's home sale will moderate, which means, what does moderate mean?
Moderate. Same definition, kind of. It's in the middle.
Right. It's not going to be crazy. It's going to be more of a market where people get along. Mm-hmm. Buyer and seller will talk, and they'll be able to get into contract, and you're not going to be writing over $50,000 in cash, $25,000 in cash. You'll be able to get into the house you want.
Was that in the 80s when we just all wanted to get along?
I think so, maybe
early 80s.
I don't know.
Mid 80s.
All right, that's all I had to share today.
Well, Lawrence Young, also a buddy of mine, Derek Domi, gave me an article yesterday. It's talking a little bit about commercial, and it's interesting. You know, me being a residential resale kind of guy for the 102 years I've been in the business, I don't really think about commercial, but commercial in the past seemed like there was just an overabundance of empty places. And Lawrence Young says that because of supply chain disruptions, you're seeing more businesses filling up commercial properties to avoid the supply chain interruptions or disruptions, and that retail sector is recovering with, guess this, more fitness gyms, salons, restaurants are popping up everywhere, and it's true in Modesto too. You know, you got the old Shangri-La that just opened up its La something or other.
Is it a Chinese or is it
no? It's his, I don't know, multicultural maybe.
Okay.
It talked about hotel bookings, air travel, and park attendance are above pre-pandemic rates. So people are not afraid to be outside again, even though if you read the CDC the other day, they're saying we should all go back to masks.
Oh, really? Stop. I don't listen to them.
Yeah. What'd they say?
I don't know. I don't listen to
them.
And
then CNN said something too, and I just shut it off.
That doesn't even come on my TV anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a blank channel when I go past it. Back to you're talking about busy. You know where's really busy?
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas. They're like bookings is up, prices are up, everybody's there spending and gambling and losing money.
Conventions are going like gangbusters because you can have those big conventions again too.
Correct. Looks like Stanislaus County is making water from air.
That's called condensation.
A system that extracts drinking water from the air was demonstrated yesterday near Keys.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Near Keys.
Yep. That's the place that if you blink, you passed it.
You know, used to be a Carney stop. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Oh,
You've been here a while.
They lost their keys.
Oh, did they?
They said.
And that's why they couldn't come back there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, I'm busier this week. I don't know about you, but
I'm busier this week too.
Yeah. People looking to get pre-approved, get into contract, all that stuff. They're listening to us.
Well, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing buyers are starting to really listen to us. Even if they're not listening to us, they're listening to the beat of society. And I think people are like, oh, I've adjusted to the little higher interest rates, just like we've all adjusted to the higher gas prices, even though they've come down into the 540s or 519s. You're like, oh, at least it's lower than the 650.
I was only 605 for diesel instead of 699.
Isn't that crazy? So see what they do? They do to us. Yeah. They get you adjusted to a high price, and then they lower it, and they're like, "Oh, look at the money we're making," and we're all driving around going, "Oh man, at least I'm only paying $5.50 a gallon."
Right. Yeah, it only cost me $125 to fill my vehicle, not $175 this week.
101.73 yesterday.
I can't, dude.
I know you'd love to do that.
Yeah. I had to go put DEF in, and so I just said, give me 150 on there, and I filled up my truck to 110, and then
Explain to the people what DEF is.
DEF is the diesel emissions fluid that they put on there so that the black smoke doesn't come out of the diesel trucks, which supposedly is some of the most toxic fuel. I mean,
emissions
fluid. That's not the black smoke. I'm talking about the diesel. If that fluid does that. So, 240 for a Duramax. Well, maybe you should get a smaller truck.
Yeah, Jim.
Not all of us are wealthy like you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Retired wealthy people.
Yeah. And some of us.
Is he retired yet?
No, he's not retired.
Okay.
He's still working. He's got to work.
Because he's got a Duramax.
He's got that, and he's got that other car. What's that other car? That Porsche that looks like your car. That's that sedan that looks like. Come on, Jim. You can tell me.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah. Anyway. Semi-retired. Yeah. That means he drives a semi part of the time. Yep. All right. So where were we at? So rates, don't freak out about them. They're going to go up. They're going to go down. That's just how this market is. And
get pre-approved, get in the market. You still have fewer people to compete with at this point. I still think in magic numbers October, and you're going to see a bunch of buyers jump back into the market.
Yeah.
So
and I think one of the issues right now that that's messing with the market and I'm talking the whole market, is this bill that the Democrats are trying to pass.
The Cayenne.
Cayenne.
That's Bev's car.
Yeah. Back to my statement. So you can't spend your way out of inflation. You have to cut taxes. You have to stop spending. The government has to stop spending. That's the only way to get out of this. And spending more is not going to help. It's going to be worse. And
does the current administration know that?
No.
Okay.
They don't. All they care about is the fact that they want their agenda across. And I'm not trying. That's just what I see, and that's what's messing everything up. If we focused on the people, we would be really good.
Yeah. That be the fact check.
Yeah, I sure hope the GOP stops sending all those illegals to Washington. I don't know if it's on the paper today.
Didn't they call the National Guard or something like that to give them help?
They wanted to get the National Guard to give them help.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, they came from down south because you let them across the border.
Right.
We need to get our country back to a better place. And what I mean by that, however that works, focus on the people. Stop focusing on government. And that's my soapbox for today.
Good.
All right.
So the moral of the story is?
Don't focus on government. Focus on the people.
And the other moral of the story is don't focus on the interest rates at this point.
Oh.
Get back in the market. Purchase a home.
Yeah, because, over time.
It's still a great time to sell.
Or buy.
And still a great time to sell.
And buy.
And still great.
You got to have a buyer for that seller.
That is so true. Yeah. And you know what? They're out there.
Of course there is.
I saw an article yesterday where it said the average days on the market in the Modesto market is about 17. That's average.
Wow,
okay.
That's so long.
Yeah. It's 10 more days from 7. Right.
Well, I think people are just so used to, I'm going to put my house on the market for this, and I'm going to get an offer, and I'm going to be closing. That's okay. We don't need to be there. That's just not a good market for everybody.
Well, it's not a realistic market. I mean, and sometimes I've had a couple sellers go, "What? I don't know if I have that kind of time. This is too fast."
Oh yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, and that's why I tell people it doesn't matter how fast we can get it done in. The rest of the people are not ready for that time period. Unless it's a vacant home, then it does matter.
Yeah. You don't want holding costs.
Well, you don't want people to break into it.
Don't put a sign in front. Oh, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Come on in, have your party.
Yeah. Take a shower.
That's right. All right, that's about it all for me today.
Mm-hmm.
I have just again, let's reiterate, focus on getting into contract by first being pre-approved, fully underwritten pre-approval, so you know exactly what you can afford and you're not going to fall out. And make sure that when you're looking for homes, you're with the right agent so that they can get you into contract and they know what they're talking about.
And turn off the background noise. Just understand, you want to buy a home, go buy a home.
Yeah. Don't listen to the news, because the only reason they're negative is because that's how they sell newspapers and get you to watch your stuff.
Well, quit looking at it, Jim, and buy it.
We're going to get there.
Okay.
Yeah. There's always things, to get there. Sometimes takes us to get there.
Baby steps.
Yeah. Yeah. And the one thing I would tell you to do before you buy your house, don't go buy a truck.
How about in the middle of escrow?
That's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just focus on, and someone asked me the other day, can I pay my credit cards off or down? I don't care about that. Once I run your credit's good for 120 days. I don't care if you pay them down. I don't care if you pay it down and then put it back where it was. That's fine. Once we have your credit, the issue is going to be is if you're not going to get in contract for 120 days, then we got to rerun your credit again. Right. I have one right now that we're getting close to that 120 days because it was a 1031 exchange.
Oh,
right. And then it's like, okay, we have to close by Tuesday or we got to rerun your credit. It should be fine, but let's not go there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And why was it taking 120 days?
It's because they
couldn't find anything, or they couldn't get in contract.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
Yeah. No, it's just the property they sold was here and they're buying in Southern California.
Okay. So they had a hard time getting into contract. And see, those are some of the information I need to be able to go back to our legislators and say, we're looking at these 1031 guidelines that maybe need to change as markets change, so people could still qualify for it. But the IRS doesn't want you to qualify for it.
They want that
exchange.
gone.
They want that gone.
Yeah,
so every year it's on the chopping block.
And we want to keep that because that's an amazing thing you can do.
Oh, could you imagine?
But these people are buying a condo in Orange County.
Okay.
And that, that is one of your reasons because you got a lot of competition down there. It's not like, it's still busy down there because people want to live there, not necessarily LA, but Orange County.
Right.
And, it's one of those things. And they can rent that thing for $15,000 a month,
which blows me away. But different pond.
At the average rent, and they were saying it was like $5,000 a month. It's like, geez, we complain here in Modesto for $2,200.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all relative to where you live. There it came out. So be careful.
You said that correctly.
It was a little slower than normal.
Yeah, well,
all right. Well, thank you for being here today, Mike.
Thank you for having me here again today, Ed.
And by the way, Mike's first debut on radio, Real Estate Jerky, is this weekend, Saturday at 12 to 1.
12.
Replay Saturday.
Oh, you froze.
Yeah, and so did you on my side. Sorry.
No, I'm still moving around over here. Oh, look at you could move.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I think they're messing with it because you're talking about commercial. Our building next door is being remodeled.
Oh, I saw
they're
that.
ripping stuff out. I wonder if they're messing with some stuff over there.
They might be. Yeah. Well, at least you didn't go.
I'm just kidding. All right, make it a great day.
Have a good weekend, kids.
Bye.
Bye.